So I dressed up as you for the interview.
I love it. Looking good. Looking good.
Yeah.
I put on a beard. I even grew a beard in your honor, you know.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, we exchanged this beforehand. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch or Pass, and today I'm talking to Timothy V. Murphy about Hell Hath No Fury, which is coming to theaters on November 5th, 2021, and on digital on November 9th, 2021. We're going to talk to him in just a second, but first, let's check out the trailer, and while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. It helps me out a lot. Thank you.
You want to tell us where that gold is? Maybe we can all go home.
I'm doing my best to remember. I promise!
If I were you, I'd keep real still, Marie.
When the fighting is over, freedom.
Then we're going to tar and feather that girl. She begged us to help her. Promised the major buried treasure.
We don't find that gold by sundown. This will not end nicely for you.
Don't you see? She's using you.
One clever trickster, Marie.
Maybe we put down these guns. We all get a little piece of that gold. We got a deal?
No more deals.
Thanks so much for joining me. This is Timothy V. Murphy, who plays Jerry in Hell Hath No Fury, which is coming to theaters on November 5th, 2021, and digital on November 9th, 2021. It's a World War II film, but it deals with some topics that I think aren't normally on the big screen. It has a little more suspense and kind of a little more intrigue than most World War II films, and it's also based on a true story, so it has some interesting facets there. And Timothy's character is it's not one that I think that most people know you for. Like it's a gruff action star. I think of you as more of like a dramatic, dramatic gentleman, or at least a dramatic actor. So you have to really kind of get your hands dirty. What was I guess what drew you to this film? How did you get involved in this movie?
Jesse Johnson, who I'd worked with before, the director, and he's also a friend, asked me if I would if I consider it, you know. So because I like Jesse and I actually like the script and I love the character, and he's from the mountains of West Virginia and he goes off the war later in life, and so I like Jesse, and he asked me to do it, and I like the script, so I decided I'd do it.
Both good reasons. And I think this was filmed during lockdown, is that right? Like this was actually, like, I don't know if it was conceived of, but it was at least started filming while everything was kind of shut down. And so was that a good experience? Was it a difficult experience? I've heard mixed things. I've heard mostly good, though, for people who were actually able to get out and work during the lockdown.
Well, yeah, because nobody was working really. I mean, able to work unless you had all your protocols, which we had all the protocols. And it was great to get out and work, I must say. There's no question. And we had great fun, and it was a thoroughly enjoyable experience, So I haven't seen the film yet, so I'm dying to see it,
I figured they would give you a link I'd share my link, but I don't know if I can. I figured they would give you a link when that happens, but
no, I haven't seen. I think some of the cast have seen it. I don't usually look at my stuff actually after I shoot it. I'll go to the premiere and I'll see it then, So it was like, what did I went to something recently that I was in. Oh yeah. In Full Bloom, it's a boxing movie, so I just saw that recently as well.
Oh, very cool. Must be, I guess it's also good to kind of see it in a crowd, so you can get the reactions of people as well, rather than watch it in your basement and just kind of getting your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think so. When I was talking to, I think it was Nina, I mentioned, I think this film was filmed in my hometown. It was filmed like Santa Clarita, is that right? Like up in California?
That's correct, yeah. In a kind of ranch kind of area there in the middle of Santa Clarita, and it's supposed to be set in a graveyard in France, and they did an amazing job, the set designers and Jesse's vision and everything, So everybody, I must say, it was quite a special experience doing the film, because everybody was just putting their heart and soul into it for very little money, just to come out with something good and great, So.
Yeah, I think. Well, so first, I mean, I don't normally associate my hometown with like French culture and looking like France. So
no, definitely not. No.
They did a good job.
We definitely put Santa Clarita on the map, you know.
I think before that, the only thing it was known for is I think it was nuked in the start of 24. So that's, you know, little things
I
here and
see.
there.
I see.
But then also, yeah, talking to a few people, it does sound like everyone kind of put their all into this. It almost felt like it was almost like a method acting experience because everyone was kind of living and breathing these roles because you couldn't leave. Everyone was quarantined, so everyone was kind of together all the time and putting a lot of heart into this movie. So it feels like this is just a labor of love and also just a really wonderful and maybe painful acting experience.
Yeah, no, it was a labor of love and nothing painful about it. It was actually a fantastic experience, I must say. It was one of my favorite jobs and characters that I've done, you know, over the years. So.
Well, I heard that there were maybe some scrapes just from the action scenes because they were so realistic, and you didn't have much padding, so I bet you probably got some scrapes as well.
Yeah, but fuck it, you know, some people, excuse my language, but some people, you know, you know, scrapes are part of life, you know, definitely part of life growing up in Ireland anyway. So, I mean, I pay no attention to that, you know, unless someone gets injured. No, I don't think anyone got injured or anything.
I haven't heard of it, so, you know, it's probably good then. And speaking of Ireland, I mean, your accent is very distinctly Irish, but in this film, you have kind of a more, I don't know, I guess Southern, or you said your character's from West Virginia. How, you know, did you have time to work on that? Were you kind of working on that on set? How did you kind of get your bearings in this film? Because you play a very different character from your like normal self.
Yeah, I worked with I got two people actually from West Virginia to help me with the accent. I sent them my copy and they taped their accents into it and gave me some hints and stuff. So I worked on that, yeah, and it was great. I played you know, cowboys and Southern guys and stuff like that in different things anyway. So it wasn't too difficult, but it was great, you know, and they were certainly an amazing help, you know, the people from West Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I also should, you know, this is your day-to-day job, so you're just like, well, no, I just did my job and did my research, and this is what I do.
That's it, really. That's it, you know. And you know, yeah, that was.
And your character does get a little more physical. Did you, you know, had you an experience? I mean, you get a little bit of firearms, you get some hand-to-hand. Did you have any training before, or was it just something? And you've been acting in so many roles for so long, maybe you just kind of have that base of experience, and then you just need a little tune-up right before.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of a physical person anyway. I grew up playing Gaelic football and rugby and stuff. And, you know, during COVID, all I was doing is, you know, I'd go for a jog in the morning maybe and do some weights at home or whatever. And as far as firearms training, yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of bad guys. So in every movie I've been doing and shooting a gun, I get firearms training for it. And and I'd done some action stuff with Jesse before. So you know, I got instruction on the range from police officers on different occasions for, you know, depending on the project, and from soldiers. And so, yeah, I felt quite comfortable in the role, you know, shooting guns and being physical and all that, you know. So
I love that, like, during the lockdown, you probably got into better shape than maybe you normally are, because it sounds like you were working out a lot, and you look better in your you know, tank top than I do in my tank top right now. And I think you're maybe a couple years older than me. I'm not certain, but you know.
you're you know, just look at my white beard. If I don't dye it or whatever, it's like, yeah, I'm definitely a couple of years older than you.
Could be movie magic. I don't know. You know, the Hollywood is a crazy place.
No, just dirty up the face and go jogging and lift some light weights and you'll be fine. You know?
There you go. I'll get started on that. Lockdown's almost over. Maybe I can get started right now. And your character, was your character based on like a real life soldier? I know that this is based on true story, and maybe like all the soldiers were kind of composites of, you know, just general soldiers that were in the war. But do you know if your character was based on any sort of real life character? Was there a real Jerry that served in this part of France?
I do not know that, actually. No, I heard that, yeah, it was loosely based on a true story, but I didn't delve much into that, you know. I just concentrated on my character, and I didn't think I just made it up myself. I didn't get any information from anyone. I had my own ideas on what I wanted to bring to the character, and so no, I didn't research. I didn't hear that this was actually based on a real character, but it could have been, you know. So.
Yeah, no, it definitely could have been, you know, a soldier from West Virginia. It kind of fit the soldier mold as well. And I think that, you know, I know Maria was a real life person, although this is kind of loosely based on events that happened to her. But had you heard of Maria and her story beforehand? I know that those kinds of stories are kind of unsung heroes of the war. You don't really get many movies about them. So that's what kind of makes this so special.
Yeah, you know, I mean, hopefully we're coming to a world where people are not going to just follow their leaders blindly into war anymore, because we've had so many bad wars. I don't think war is ever a good idea. I think obviously it should be a very, very, very last resort, because you have to stand up to a bully, obviously. But, you know, maybe there's other ways. I mean, apartheid, you know, happened, in the end of apartheid in South Africa came because of sanctions, you know. But hopefully, as far as girls like Maria, yeah, you know, it was a very difficult time, I would imagine, being in occupied France with the Germans in control. And as far as I know, you know, a very tiny minority of the people rebelled against the, you know, you often hear the resistance and everything, but the majority of people toed the line in case they'd be killed, basically, you know. So when you see those pictures afterwards of young girls that had relationships with Nazi soldiers, or, you know, they collaborated with the enemy or whatever, and their treatment, you know, getting tarred and feathered, you know, shaved heads and all that, you really wonder, is it fair, you know, that they're picked out, you know, and that the majority of people at some, you know, probably are guilty of some kind of thing. I just think it's horrible that those young girls were picked on after the war, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Jesse, and he said that in his research, it seemed like the punishments were almost there to kind of like hyper, you know, patriotize it, or I'm not sure what the correct word is, but, you know, the people doing the punishments were kind of trying to show like, oh no, we are super loyal, so we are going to punish these people that are deemed unloyal. And yeah, it just seems like,
exactly.
Marie was doing a service to the war effort, but then also like, the punishment does seem very harsh for someone who's just, you know, either trying to survive, or maybe she actually did love that person. I think Nina said if they had met in a different time or a different space, they might have actually been compatible just because of, you know, shared interests and whatnot, except he was obviously a terrible person as well. But
yeah, you know, there's a similar story like that in a movie by David Lean called Ryan's Daughter, you know, the collaborator with the British in the turn of the century. And it's it's a similar thing as well. But I read a thing recently on because I love history, that you know, the resistance went out and they killed a couple of Nazis, 3 Nazis, and, you know, the Nazis just went into the village after and killed hundreds of innocent people, or because of that, you know. So the retaliation does you know, yeah. Anyway, sure, we could talk about that for all day, you know. So.
Yeah, exactly. To your point, hopefully this is, you know, hopefully war in the future will be a less common thing, just because there are terrible things that happen, and it seems like in every war there really doesn't appear to be a good war. So
no, there's definitely no such thing as a good war, really. Yeah. It's horrific and horrible, and yeah. Anyway, we could talk about that for ages as well.
Yeah. And so another thing that was a very striking visual part of this film are those gold bars. How heavy were they? Were they, you know, they looked really impressive in the film. I guess you haven't seen the film, but how they look in person?
They look good. I mean, as I said, the set decoration and you know, the person with the props and everything, they did a phenomenal job. If they had been real gold bars, I probably would have robbed one of them and said nothing, because yeah. But so they weren't real, but they looked real, you know. So.
I kind of was like, well, the next question is going to be what happened to them. It feels like maybe, you know, the main cast should have kind of broken them up as, you know, like parting gifts, or, you know, as a payment of sorts.
You could have done that, yeah, because I remember one time I did this commercial on TV for DirecTV where I played this Russian oligarch, and I kissed a giraffe, and it was one of these big viral commercials that went viral years ago, you know. And they made 2 gold busts of me because I'm supposed to be this big egotistical motherfucker, right? And they gave me a bust to take home. But I mean, I had it in my house for about a couple of weeks, but what am I going to do with a gold bust of myself in the house? I threw it into the garbage bin. Then.
Oh, you should have auctioned that off or something. I mean, someone with your
I should have kept it. It might be worth some money now. I know.
yeah. I feel like someone with your career should have like a trophy room of different like props and things from various movies.
Definitely.
Awesome. So I'd like to switch. I call it the lightning round. They're just lightweight, short questions about the film. See how things in the film relate to your own experiences. You can feel free not to answer any of them. I won't be offended at all if you want to pass. I try to keep them very answerable though.
Yeah.
First question is: have you ever fired any World War II weapons before filming this movie?
I don't think I have. No. Yeah.
So one of the characters is called Little Badger. Actually, you call him Little Badger a lot as well. Do you have any sort of like nickname like that? Any nickname that your friends call you?
No, just Murph basically, but definitely not Badger. Timmy Murphy or Murph, So yeah.
Both good names. If you were to say you were like an animal, what animal would you think you would be?
A wolf there came to mind, but I mean everybody wants to be a friggin' wolf, so who knows, But
yeah,
a wolf.
But few people it fits. So you know what? Go with it.
Go with it.
Have you ever had to go undercover?
Have I ever had to go undercover?
This could even be like maybe you went to like one of your movie screening, your movie premiere, and you kind of like tried to pretend like you weren't you, so something like that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Really, no.
Okay. Have you ever used a metal detector to find treasure?
No.
Okay. What is the most valuable thing that you have lost, and you could have found it later, but just something that is valuable that you have lost?
Well, my wife put my wallet into a trash bin lately, and we never found it again. So maybe that was quite valuable. I had to replace everything, but yeah, not intentionally, of course.
Yeah, depending on what you have in it, that can be a very big
exactly.
loss.
I haven't lost anything really valuable. I mean, I don't think I have anything very valuable to lose. So fuck it.
Do you have any gold on you right now?
No, I do not.
Okay. And the last thing is, have you ever had anything like these bars? They seem to be kind of cursed. I mean, it was kind of they were a horrible circumstance that brought them about, and then it seemed like everyone who kind of went after them had terrible things happen. Have you ever had anything that you thought was kind of cursed or something like that? Maybe it's this bust of you as a Russian oligarch that you had to throw away. Maybe that was it.
Cursed. I remember one time I was in New York years ago. I was working in construction, New York, and frigate things were not going good. So I saw this place for a fortune teller. So I went in there for the fortune teller. And she told me that there was a curse on me by some girl in the Middle East or something. And that I'd have to sleep with this poultice under my pillow every night. But I'd also have to give her a few $100 for this friggin' thing. So yeah, that's the only thing I know about curses, and that was a load of bollocks, I think.
I mean, yeah, I assume you didn't do it. I mean, I don't know, but lifting a curse does seem very specialized. So maybe this poultice was really special.
Who knows?
And the last question is, the film is coming out November 5th in theaters and November 9th on digital. You're promoting it. You're trying to get the word out. After this film's out, I'm sure you have many other projects out as well. So what's next for you after this film? Do you have other projects on the mind? Other projects in the work?
Let me see. I'm doing a Western in Montana in December. That should be fun. And what else have I coming out now? I have a bunch. I'm always having something coming out. I have a thing called Under Siege coming out, I think, in February. I have MacGruber. I have MacGruber coming out. That's
nice.
Yeah, I did the TV show, so that's coming out in December, I think, as far as I know, or around then anyway.
Very cool. MacGruber has a very, very strong and very specific fan base. I'm excited to see that one.
Oh, it should be hilarious. I mean, it was hilarious doing it. They called me about some press, I think, in December. So obviously it's coming out shortly, the TV show. Yeah, so that was good fun. I did the movie, so it was good to be part of the TV show.
Perfect. Well, awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. This is Timothy V. Murphy, who plays Jerry in Hell Hath No Fury, which is coming to theaters on November 9th and on November 5th and on digital on November 9th, 2021. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good talking to you.
Good talking to you too. That was Timothy V. Murphy talking about Hell Hath No Fury, which is coming to theaters on November 5th, 2021, and digital on November 9th, 2021. It's a World War II film that tells a very different story than I think what most of us are used to. It has some action, but it also has a lot of suspense and a lesser known story. If you liked this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And please check out my other content. I've got other movie reviews, other interviews, unboxing videos, and a weekly movie recommendation. Thank you so much.